What's up, War Room Nation? Welcome to another edition of Inside the War Room, the NBA Finals edition. I'm your host tonight. My name is Jimmy at JW the Blueprint on Twitter. Ladies, you can at me. Anyway, tonight I have a couple gentlemen with me to break down Game 4 of the NBA Finals and do a quick preview of Game 5. I have all the way live from New York, who is a Nets fan and is excited about Jason Kidd to be his new coach, I think. Ezra, a.k.a. Who Ate My Ice Cream at Idiot Sports Talk. What's up, Ez?
I would like to say gracias for inviting me to the show. I appreciate it. War Room Sports Deportes is here, and I'm ready to get this started.
No doubt. No doubt. I got my brother B. Austin from War Room Sports. B. Austin, what's going on?
Cuba, ven aquí.
Yeah, what he said. And all the way from Chi-Town, Glass, at Get With His Sports on Twitter. What's going on?
What's up, fam? Thanks for bringing me back on. And that's the Dwayne Wade I'm looking for.
Yeah, Chi-Town Dwayne Wade. I see you with the Sox hat on, so there's no need to ask you whether you rep the Sox or the Cubs. You're a Sox guy,
Yo,
right?
Dwayne Wade may have brought his game, but he definitely left his attire, yo.
Oh, dude. Hey, he was Gucci down, but he straight up looked like Captain Kangaroo.
Yo, he had on
Hey,
pumps.
Glass,
He had
you know
on
what's
pumps,
funny?
yo.
Chicago is known as like the gang capital of the world, and when I've been to Chicago, yo, it's the same thing with the Cubs and Sox, yo. It's like on half of the town is Cubs and half of the town is Sox, and y'all don't mess with each other.
Hey, me and my partner in crime be going at it every day. He a Cubs fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't help it.
All right, so being born in Chicago, what decides who you root for? And this has nothing to do with the finals, but I always wanted to ask somebody from Chi-Town.
Say that one more time.
I said, being born in Chicago, being from Chicago, how do you decide I'm going to be a Sox instead of a Cubs fan? Like, how's that happen?
Because I'm no bandwagon jumper. You know, everybody going for the Cubs. I don't understand how you can root for a team that hasn't won the championship in 100 years. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. All right.
So you saying you front runner.
Right. Richard Ryder.
Richard Ryder and hammer eating is what it is. But listen, though.
Hammer eating.
Yeah, I just definitely wanted to ask somebody that question, man. Let's jump right into the NBA Finals, man. Game 4, as we know, the Heat came back, tied the series up. LeBron was dominant. D. Wade had, a flashback to his series against the Mavs years ago. I'm going to start it off by asking Ez, what was the major difference in this game as opposed to the game where the Spurs won by damn near 1,000? What did you see different?
The intensity on defense, plain and simple. That set the tone for their offense. It was from minute 1 to minute 48. It was just intense defense. They had 13 steals, 7 blocks, and to me, it didn't seem like it was that low. It seemed a lot more. They had their hands on the ball every minute of the game. The Spurs just looked flustered and out of it towards the fourth quarter because every pass they threw was tipped or stolen. It was just incredible defensive performance by the whole team.
Yeah, absolutely. B. Austin, anything else you wanted to point out that you saw that was different in this game?
Effort and intensity by the Miami Heat. That coupled, with the athleticism translates to victories. There was one particular play in the game where I was absolute in my belief that the Heat were going to win. And it was a small play. You gentlemen may have missed it. You may not have. Chris Bosh dove for a loose ball and smacked the ground so hard that I heard it. Like the microphone picked it up. He dove for the ball, smacked the ground, and that let me know these dudes are serious. They shouldn't have had to have their cage rattled, but it's rattled. Chris Bosh, who makes $80 million, is diving for loose balls like he's Udonis Haslem, Joel Anthony, or Chris Birdman Anderson. So that let me know that the tone was being set and that they were really there to play. And then, of course, Dwayne Wade, he showed up. He showed up big time. He showed up like he was from Chicago and not from Atlanta. He really put that work in. He definitely really put that work in. Now, don't get me wrong. The Spurs played a good game. As Ez pointed out, they really didn't look flustered until the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. So, and my man Gary Neal, who I often call Gary Trent, I'm not going to mess your name up anymore, dog. Yo, he shoots the ball with no regard or respect to whoever is on the opposing team or whoever's defending. He smacked one in LeBron's mouth from 47 feet. And I was like, no, don't shoot that. Smack. So
Yeah.
shout out to Gary.
And here's the thing, though. Bosh got out of Del Curry mode, because Bosh has been hanging around the 3-point line
True.
the last several games, and he got out of Del Curry mode. Glass, here's what I want to ask you.
He's the best shooter among the starters, though.
B. Austin brought it up, which is they had to get smacked in the mouth. They had to get killed that way to show that kind of intensity. Why is that? Because the Heat often do this. We know they're a talented team, but it seems like they don't come out and play with this kind of urgency or intensity until their back's against the wall or until they get smacked around. So if you're coaching them, how do you get this to come out of them now? The series is tied. I mean, do you think that they'll play this way for the rest of the series, or you think
I don't see it. I don't see it. It's just gonna go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? They just have to get smacked in the mouth to wake up, know how to play. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the first time in the series all three of the big three showed up. All three consisted of 85 points and 30 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? And I know the Spurs played good, but they didn't play hella D like the Miami Heat did. They had many turnovers, but they committed a lot of turnovers. Thiago Splitter had his shot blocked by who? Dwayne Wade. Come on, man, you can't do that. So then you got to know that he had to win this game, because they would have lost this game. I couldn't see them winning 3 in a row. Yeah. So it was a must win.
And I want to give. I know the big three deserve tons of credit for last night. Another guy I want to give credit to is Ray Allen. He was aggressive. He was driving to the hole. It was a shock to me just watching him drive to the hole, put the ball on the court, and take guys off dribble.
He's a Mitch.
Aggressive.
He looked like Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Yeah,
but Ezra, let me ask you a question, because we talk about how the intensity change, and it kind of starts with their leader. LeBron's their leader. It's the same thing with him. It's like over the last couple of days leading up to this game, he was getting crucified in the media because of the way he played in Game 3. And he responded by being ultra aggressive. He was going to the hole with reckless abandon, and you saw it in his eyes. And the team followed suit. So even with him, why is it that he has to be poked and prodded and talked about to bring this out of him? Why is the animal inside him every game?
If I can make an analogy, it's like a young lady who enjoys S&M. Sometimes you gotta smack her around before she gets ready to. I'm sorry to our viewers.
Wow.
I'm sorry to our viewers. I may be a little out
no,
of
but I want to seriously know, Ezra, because.
But I have a real answer for that as well. So I'd like to.
Well, let me see. Let Ezra weigh in first.
Yeah,
Why is it that this has to happen for him to lead this way and the team to follow suit?
Man, I don't want to say the same junk everybody says for the last 10 years
junk
about
if
LeBron.
it's
He
true.
doesn't have that killer instinct.
Say it if it's true.
But it in some ways it's true, because if you go back to when they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, it wasn't because the Dallas Mavericks they had better players or anything like that. It was because a lot of people were talking, I said it myself at the time, the mental toughness of the Dallas Mavericks seemed like they put them over the hump in that series, that first finals. And I just don't know, and I don't want to put it on LeBron, because
it's not on him.
But
he has to get smacked. I think Wade also has been passive in the second half of these games too.
But it's like
I think it's a team thing. It's not. I don't think it's just a LeBron thing.
It's definitely not.
Team.
But there's something to the fact that when they get smacked and their back against the wall, he comes out a different player. And I don't know if it's the killer instinct, but how do you put the killer instinct on one game and then the next game is not there?
You don't. It's not that you're putting the killer instinct on. It is LeBron has grown up in the media, and so the media is sort of his second parent, if you will. Mm-hmm. So he's so cognizant of what is being said and the criticisms that he actually responds to it. He responds to the poking and the prodding, and that is kind of a motivation. He is not naturally an
motivated.
Aggressive, put your mouth on the curb, I'm gonna step on the back of your head type of dude. That's just not. That's not what you're getting out of LeBron. But he is so good. He is so good that it doesn't matter in terms of him attaining greatness.
It's funny because it kind of sounds like two things here. Is he that good that he gets bored and needs to be motivated? And so he's not self.
It's not a boredom thing.
But that's what I'm saying. So you're saying it's kind of sounding like you're saying he's not self motivated in a way that Michael or Kobe is.
Absolutely not. He's not in the same league.
I don't want to make this whole video
but he's that good.
About the mindset. But how about this? If you think about today's athlete, these guys from 13, 14 years old, you're gassed up, you're hyped up, you're going to be an NBA player, everything is given to you at such a young age, you're brainwashed, okay? Michael Jordan, there was no Twitter, there was no social media, there wasn't he was on the cover at 15, 16 years old on Sports Illustrated. He had to earn it. He played in college, he was a 3rd overall pick, okay? He was passed over in the 2nd pick. Kevin, and think about today's app. Forget about Kobe because he was a 16th, 17th pick. I don't remember. He came from straight up. But if you think about today's athletes, how many of them, the superstars, really have killer instincts? Does Kevin Durant, do a lot of people get on him for not having a killer instinct?
This is great point.
I think these guys are brainwashed.
I totally agree with
when you said that, I started thinking the only person I could think of will possibly be like a Chris Paul. But my thing is this, though. My thing is this. If you're his coach, right, and you recognize this, don't you try to find like alternative ways or maybe whatever to try to
was given to him. I'm just everything.
But to Ezra's point, Jimmy, just like everything was given to him, the coach was handpicked and given to him to allow him to, a lot of the coaches. LeBron has never played for a coach that demands or dictates to him the way things are going to go. It's I'm the coach. I'm bringing a system in. Oh, LeBron. Does this work for you?
Now listen,
LeBron, you don't have to go down in the post if you want. Well, it doesn't matter that you're 6'9" and 270. You are so great, which is actually a truth. You're so great that you don't have to work on and develop the things that may take you over the top as the best player ever. Because
until failure happens.
Until failure happens.
Yeah.
And then built up so high that when guys like us objectively criticize, it's kind of like knocking the bricks out from underneath the pedestal.
All right, hold on, Glass. Let me get your opinion on one thing, because this video is not completely about LeBron. It's about the Miami Heat, but for some reason,
he's the greatest player in the world.
Listen, as he goes, they go.
True.
And I know you had criticized the coach before, but my question is, if you're a coach and you understand your team has this problem where they kind of think they have an on-off switch, what do you do to get them to play with a sense of urgency right away?
Do the same thing Coach Pop did, like in Game 3 when they was getting blown out. Sit all the starters.
But Glass, that doesn't work in Miami. Popovich has that authority down there.
Ezra
Spo can be fired. Spo can be fired by Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard can fire Spo.
Hold on, Austin. Go ahead. Glass, what you say?
But see, me and Ezra been going back and forth. I don't know how long, about 2 months. I do not consider Spoelstra a premier head coach. He's handpicked, just like
but here's the
Austin
thing.
Said. Go ahead.
How many premier coaches are there really? I think that Spoelstra is a coach. He's getting better. I see him make different moves, different adjustments. He's getting better as a coach. I don't think he's a great coach by any stretch. But how many premier coaches are there really anymore in the NBA? You said three that are currently coaching. Who are they?
Doc.
Pop.
Papa Doc.
Papa Doc.
Pop Doc. Who's the third then?
Thibodeau. Yeah.
I got more than that. I got Rick Carlisle from the Mavericks. I think he's a great coach.
I give it that.
I got
give it that.
And you know what? I think this Eric Spoelstra, he's not like he was handpicked. He was in the video room earning his way up the rankings. And he won 50 games before the Big Three even got there with just Wade and Haslam. I think he's proven himself to be a very good coach in this league. And I think he should be up there.
The point you made is not really a counter to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's not a good coach. What I am saying is that he's not the dictator of the organization. And
that's true. No, I totally agree with that. He's not.
But he is a quality coach. I'm not one of those people that detract from him. I think that he never gets enough credit for the success that he'd have, because when things go wrong, the sycophants are out and they find places to lay blame, and it's never on LeBron or, it's always we even get to Spo. Well, you guys don't want to give Spo any credit when they're winning. So why is it his fault now when they're losing? So I don't think he's a bad coach. I don't think he's a bad coach at all, but he's nowhere near in the league of a Carlisle, of a Thibodeau, of a Popovich.
I think that's a different video for another day, but I disagree with you guys. Because look at Game 2. Pop got destroyed. They got blown out. Game 2 for the Spurs and Game 3 for the Heat, it was a mirror of each other. They both got blown out in each game. I didn't hear nobody criticize Pop in this Game 2 And
speaking
on Game 4, and I think he deserves some criticism in Game 4 because, even though the Heat's defense was insane, you forgot about Tim Duncan in the post. They didn't go to him in the second half in the post when he can get his shot anytime he wants against these little guys. Anytime he wants, they forgot about him.
Now here's the thing.
Tony Parker ran out of gas.
Yes,
and they started pressing him a little bit more, so the entry passes were a little bit more difficult. And I don't even think the pressure would have normally bothered him, but he gave it all he had on one leg. So I think that hamstring became
and Manu has been absolutely.
Manu has been horrible.
Manu is my homie. Like, I bangs with Manu. Pause. Yo, Manu, you are some GD trash right now. Like, you are in the way. You're in the way.
Last year in the finals. Okay, I think Manu's playing even worse than that.
Yo,
he is. Last year in the finals.
All right, now here's the thing.
I'm see Corey Joseph.
Now hold on. This is not really like a Miami Heat video, and it kind of got that way because we know that these guys were better than they. Hold on. What I'm saying is this though. It's Poop Manu now. We know that they're better than they showed in Game 3. When they come out and play the way they did in Game 4, they can kind of beat anybody. But with that being said, it's funny how we don't question whether the Spurs will bounce back because they're a resilient team. So we know they'll be back.
More
very disciplined, and then as to your point about how Pop doesn't get criticized, I guess he's kind of like built up a cushion.
Yeah, of course he did, but I'm not saying. I'm just.
I get your point. I get your point about Spo. Like, we're not spoiled attractors. Why not Glass is? Glass thinks he's horrible, you know. But I'm joking. I'm exaggerating.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I did think he's horrible, but I give him credit this year. He stepped his game.
Now the Manu hasn't played well as of yet, and when I was going to get to the whole Tony Parker situation because in the first half. He looked like, as Jalen Rose would say, one of the top 3 players in the league.
In that second quarter, he absolutely carried the Spurs.
Yeah, he did. But then in the second half,
he shot his gun in that quarter, though.
Yeah, he was done.
Shot what he had.
He was done. Now, they're spreading these games out like crazy. This next game is until Sunday, so we'll have time to get a little bit of rest. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that will help him at all? And let's just jump right into Game 5. What do you guys think about Game 5? Moving forward, who do you guys think will win this game? I'm going to start with you, Glass. Let Glass rock for a minute. Who do you think will win Game 5 and why?
Just like we just got through saying, everybody got their turn to shine. Last night, it was D. Wade and Bosh. Only one missing is Manu. So I'm just going to throw it out there thinking Manu going to have a good game.
Can't get no worse.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that, Pop's going to adjust, rewrite the ship. If you think about it, Neil and Danny Green almost got warmed up in the third quarter, but before Wade got back in it. So all that being said, I'm gonna say Spurs gonna win the next game.
Spurs will win the next game. B. Austin, what do you think moving forward? What do you think about Game 5?
Game 5, I have the Heat winning.
Yeah, the Heat winning.
I think that the reason the Spurs are able to compete and stay in this is because of their great discipline, their great team play. They personify what basketball is supposed to look like, irregardless of talent level and athletic ability. They move the ball well. They take intelligent shots. They play within themselves, with the exception of Manu, who tries to get playground with it from time to time, and usually can do that. But for the most part, they play within themselves, and they make the right play, which shout out to my man, Larry Brown. I bangs with you, hard body. But I think that the Heat, what they've run into is truly a buzzsaw, because whether they play the right way or not, these dudes are the human versions of the Monstars from Space Jam. Like, when they get it rolling, when Dwayne Wade is rolling, because you gotta realize LeBron gets all the hype or whatever, but Dwayne Wade, that game yesterday, that game was nuts. The game he played was nuts. It was nuts.
Yeah,
it was nuts. It was like his knee was healthy.
So basically, you think their cage has been rattled enough, and now they're going to go ahead and do what they got to do?
Yeah, I get the sense that Dwayne Wade has come to a point where he's tired of sitting back, because he does defer to LeBron so much. And I think that he can step in and kind of take the lead without usurping LeBron's position. So what that allows them to do is get a lot more scoring from Wade, continue to allow LeBron to facilitate when he needs to, score when he needs to, and then the key is the defensive intensity that they're bringing.
Yeah,
if they continue to play D like that, they're going to get the shots that they want. So getting shots isn't really an issue for them. Their offense doesn't bog down. the Spurs actually do have an offense that, while I don't think it bogs down, there's more potential for them to bog down than the Heat.
Wow, that's
Because the
interesting.
Heat have two players that can't be stopped.
That's interesting. Now,
actually three.
That's interesting because that's interesting because the Heat have. I mean, the Spurs have never trailed in the NBA Finals in terms of games ever.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Heat go up 3-2, this would be the first time for that. Ez, what is your opinion of Game 5? How do you see it?
I can't even use this one.
Game 5, I think it's a must-win for the Spurs because do you want to go down 3-2 with
Going
2
back
to
to
play in
Miami?
Miami?
Yeah.
That's tough. But to talk about what B. Austin said, Dwayne Wade, his mindset, everyone's mindset was different last night, but he was aggressive even in the second half. The first 3 games, he was doing all right in the first half. He was getting the shots, but in the second half, he was deferring to LeBron. This game, especially in the early fourth quarter when LeBron was on the bench getting his rest, he absolutely was phenomenal. Like you said,
as the question is Dwayne Wade's health. Is he truly healthy? If he's truly healthy, he can't do nothing.
And
he's
he's got to be aggressive too. He's got to be aggressive too.
So how do you go ahead, Ez? You got it.
And I think the best player so far overall for the Heat in this series has been
Mario Chalmers.
Chris Bosh. Game 2 had a big game, and last night he was great defensively. He hit his shots, and I know people are killing him because he took that 3-pointer. It was a game 1.
Listen, we call Chris Bosh the new Del Curry lately because all he does is hang around the 3-point line.
But then again, that's what helps out their spacing.
The starters though.
But and he helps out their spacing. Like Eric Spoelstra said a million times, he's our most important player because him being out there creates that space for the Wade and LeBron to attack the basket and do their magical things.
Yeah, we get that, yeah.
But the Game 5, I think Pop is going to make his adjustments. And you know what? No, besides Tony Parker, he's at his spurts, and Tim Duncan in Game 1, their big 3, especially Manu, haven't played well. And I think they're due one right now, right? One of them has got to have a breakout game or something.
Right. That's the Glass theory. Glass says Manu is going to play in Game 5 just because he hasn't played yet.
I don't think Manu is going to break out until Game 8.
Until he's in championship trials, world championships.
Yeah, till he's with the Argentinian national team.
Yeah,
there's something weird about the way he's struggling, and it's a mental block at this point.
I don't know if it's a mental block, like everybody says about Wade. You know what I'm saying? The reckless abandonment that Manu has played throughout his whole career, maybe Father Time and his body's breaking down some kind of ways, catching up to him. I don't know. Hopefully it's not because he's one of the most exciting players to watch when he's on. And people forget that. And I think he's a future Hall of Famer for all his
I love him because
accolades.
He's one of the few international players and true, maybe kill white guys, and he's not scared of black players. Like he goes at them.
My favorite foreign player is Luis Scola. But that's neither here nor there. He ain't scared. He ain't nobody.
Listen, if Scola ain't playing well, he just all right. Well, then we might as well fight. I mean,
You know he deserves some playing time, and because Splitter he's been okay, and he's been embarrassed a couple times.
I think Splitter has played good D though.
I think DeJuan Blair deserves some burn though.
No,
I think he deserves some type of burn over Boris Diaw.
No.
Boris gave a spark in the first half when he came in.
There's some more versatility, though.
What has he done with that versatility in this series? Absolutely nothing.
I mean,
I give DeJuan Blair over Boris Diaw.
Hold on, what you got against DeJuan Blair, B. Austin?
I don't have anything against him. I like DeJuan Blair, man. I root for all fat guys everywhere, but
what do you want?
Boris
Diaw.
Yeah,
Boris
Diaw
gives me more. Boris can actually play in spurts, the 2, the 3, and the 4.
But he hasn't done anything in this series. It's been 4 games already. He hasn't done anything yet.
You're right. I guess I don't know. It killed
So Glass, you got the Spurs. B. Austin, you got the Heat. Ez has the Spurs. I'm going to roll with the Spurs too. My pick means nothing because I haven't got anything right this series. But
I hope I'm wrong. Y'all know I'm
going to roll with the Spurs because of kind of the same thing that Ez said. I mean, Pop has to be in the kitchen right now cooking up something special. He has an extra day to do.
He got the
extra day to do so.
Extra baking soda.
Right.
Yeah, he got his baking soda. He's in the kitchen putting in work. But
putting a little bit of milk in it, like my man the chef.
But here's the thing, because you don't want to go down 3-2 going
not to the front runners, the Miami front runners. No,
yeah, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure
when they play with no pressure, they are you have to apply pressure to their mental because then they become mortal. If you allow them their confidence to run free and their athleticism to come out, dog, you can't beat them with them front runs. You can't.
Yeah, basically you just call them bullies. Anyway, so
True.
At the end of the day, I'm going to roll with the Spurs. I mean, that's how we have it moving forward. We'll be right back at you after the next game, after Game 5, with the Game 5, recap.
Again,
Game
shout out
6
to Gary
preview.
Neal, yo. Keep shooting.
Gary Neal. Let's give more shout out to Gary
Hey,
Neal.
Danny Green's got to cool down at some point. Right?
And shout out to him too, yo.
He's got to cool down, right? At some point.
Woo!
I don't understand.
You would think so. You would think so. So
He don't miss even when he misses.
listen, I'm hoping for a 7-game series.
Same here.
And I think the best way of getting there would
No
be
more blowouts.
The Spurs will be winning this next game. Because if Miami wins this game, I think they may close it out in 6. Anyway, with that being said, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you feel about the next game coming up, and also what you think about the last game. And with the Heat showing up the way they did and playing with that kind of intensity. Ez, before we get out of here, tell people how they can catch your work online.
Just Google Idiot Sports Talk, and I'll come up. Come on. Who
Google me.
has that name?
Idiots.
I'm around there. Just Google me. That's it.
Idiot Sports Talk.
Sports Talk. I'm around.
Idiot Sports Talk Glass. How can people catch all your work online?
Check out YouTube channel Get With It Sports 2, the number 2. Check out me and the blog sphere at getwithitsports at wordpress.com. Hit me up on Twitter at getwithitsports. If you got any questions or topics you want to talk on, hit me on the email getwithitsports2 at gmail.com.
Hey, and all you Cubs fans out there, you can attack them for the whole White Sox thing. Anyway, with that being said, be awesome. It's time for us to get out of here.
Yeah, man, we got our Styles and P on with D Block supporting us. War Room Sports at War Room Sports, warroomsports.com, as you see. You know our tagline: don't accept mediocrity and be steadfast in the war against ignorance.
That's right. I see you chumps on top. We out of here.
Kuwait, it's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.